Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining me. My name is Dennis Brown, and this is my weekly Freight Broker Bootcamp Live training. Today, I'm going to share with you seven signs that you are ready to hire your first employee as a freight broker. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. 7 signs that you're ready to hire your first employee as a freight broker. That's what we're going to talk about in the training. But before we do that, here's what's going to happen. I made an offer where people log in a little bit early. The training is going to start at noon Eastern time, like it always does. But we're going to do some giveaways early for anybody who joins me early. If you just want to attend the training, great. Come back at noon, no problem. If you want a chance for, maybe some cash or prize giveaways that I do frequently on these lives, hang in tight. So I'm going to jump into these things really quick, but let me set the agenda. We're going to do the giveaways. Then we're going to do the training. Then we're going to do some live Q&A at the end. And who knows, maybe we'll do some more giveaways after that. Okay. So giveaways, here's what we're going to do. If you want to qualify for one of the giveaways, let's just make sure we got a bunch of people live here going. So we got a bunch of people that are starting to log in. So I'm going to be doing, I'm going to try to do 3 giveaways if I can. 2 of them are going to have to do with my Freight Broker Bootcamp podcast. And one of them is going to have to do with my Freight Broker YouTube channel. Okay. So let's see what we got here. We got a bunch of people logging in. Army Co., welcome from Green Cove Springs, Florida. Nelson from Florida. Oh yeah, Florida in the house. Winter Haven, Florida. My man Interfire Logistics is always here. Thank you so much, Elio. Chrisia and Dad Chuck Logistics. Hey, got a lot of people joining us live, whether you're joining on YouTube or joining on Facebook Live, whichever it is. I appreciate you being here. If you're catching this on replay, hit me up in the comments with #replay. I'd love to hear from my replay folks. And again, thank you everybody for joining me. Let's jump into the giveaways, okay? Then we're going to do the live training. Then we're going to do the Q&A, okay? All right, so first, if you want a chance to win $50 cash, $50 cash, okay? It's going to take you all of 60 seconds to do this. So what I want you to do, the first giveaway is this. Open up your cell phone. We all have these, right? Everybody's got it. And go to the podcast app that you listen to podcasts. If you're on Apple, go to the Apple podcast. I use Apple. If you're on Android, then you can go to Google or Spotify. Open that podcast app up. And what I want you to do is I want you to subscribe and follow the Freight Broker Bootcamp podcast. Just go into the podcast, do a quick search for Freight Broker Bootcamp. You'll see the podcast, click follow / whatever, subscribe, and then come back in here into the comments and let me know that you subscribed. If you subscribed, so I want to hear in the comments, subscribed on Apple, if you subscribed on Apple. If you subscribed on Spotify, subscribed on Spotify. If you subscribed on some other podcast app, okay, then let me know where you subscribed in the comments. And that's going to let me know that you want to be a part of the $50 giveaway, the first $50 giveaway. I'm going to give away $50 cash. I'm going to pick one winner, and then I'm going to PayPal that money to you in the next 24 to 48 hours. Okay. I've given away thousands and thousands of dollars over the last year in these giveaways. And so you can get a chance to win $50. So do that really quick. And then we're going to move on to the next giveaway. I'm going to give away another $50. Okay. So do that now. And while you're doing it, for those of you that are joining me late, the training is going to start at noon Eastern. We're going to start sharp at around noon. Okay. And the training today that we're going to talk about is 7 signs that you are ready to hire your first employee as a freight broker. Okay. So I'm going to go over that. It's an important lesson. It's important training because as a freight broker or a freight agent, we typically all start alone, right? When I first started, it was just me and a phone, right? And that's how other successful brokers that have went through Freight Broker Bootcamp have started as well. But eventually, if you want to grow, you've got to hire and build a team. Okay. So that's part of what we're going to talk about today. All right. So we got some people that are subscribing. Cool. I'm going to give another, another 60 seconds for you to subscribe on Apple or Google podcast or Spotify or wherever you subscribe, and then come back in and hit me up in the comments for a chance to win $50. Okay. And once you subscribe, listen, this isn't a qualifier, but make sure you check out the Freight Broker Bootcamp Audio Experience podcast. It's where I take the best of the best of the best training, whether it be in video or webinar or audio or coaching calls or whatever it is. And I do it in audio only format. So you can listen to it when you're jogging, or you can listen to it when you're on the treadmill, or you can listen to it when you're driving, or you can listen to it when you're, taking a walk with the dog or with whatever. Okay. It's a great way to consume content. I love podcasts, are one of my favorite ways to consume content. So, all right, cool. So we got a bunch of people. All right, awesome. So here, I'm going to pick one winner. I have a very non-technical way of doing it. I close my eyes, I scroll through the feed, and whoever's name I land on, who followed the instructions that said subscribed on Apple, subscribed on Spotify. If you follow the instructions, I land on your name, boom, you win the $50. Okay, so here we go. All right, so let me see where they start. All right, cool. All right, so here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. The winner of the $50, the first $50 giveaway, is April Crawford. April Crawford, you are the winner of $50. That wasn't hard, was it? And all you had to do is subscribe to the podcast. So here's all you need to do to collect your prize, April. Go to the Freight Broker Bootcamp Facebook page. Okay, you got to go on Facebook. First, I want you to like the page, and then I want you to send me a message through that page that tells me your full name, your PayPal email address, and your full name, your PayPal email address, and that you won the Apple Subscribe $50 giveaway. You got to include that, okay? So your full name, your PayPal email, and that you won the Apple $50 podcast subscribe giveaway, okay? So that's all you got to do, April. Congratulations. Thank you for playing along. All right, next contest. Let's do another one real quick. Anybody who's on Apple, okay? Anybody who listens to podcasts on Apple or has an iTunes account, particularly people that have an iPhone, okay? If you have an iPhone, this is especially for you. Apple allows their listeners to write reviews about their podcast. It's the only app out there that I found that allows you to write a review about the podcast. I don't know why the others don't do it. I think they're stupid, but Apple does it. So if you are an Apple iTunes user, okay, if you're an Apple user and you listen to things on the Apple podcast, all I want you to do is go in there, pull up Freight Broker Bootcamp, and write a short review. Go in there and write a short review. So everybody that just subscribed on Apple, or everybody who has subscribed in the past, okay, what I want you to do is go in there, open up your podcast app, your Apple podcast app, and write a short review. It's going to say, hey, 0 to 5 in stars, and then it's going to ask you to write a short review. It doesn't need to be super long. Write a quick review about the training that you've gotten, whether you're a member of Freight Broker Bootcamp or whether you're brand new and you're just discovering the content. Whatever the case may be, write a quick review and then come back in the comments and let me know that you wrote an Apple review, okay? So Apple review, all right? Say Apple review done, and that's all you got to do to say that in the comments, and that's going to qualify you for a $50 giveaway, just like we gave away the $50 before, okay? So if you want to win another $50 or a chance to win another $50, just go to Apple, write a quick review, come back in, and then type in the comments, Apple review done. Let me know that you did that. And again, just to rehash, here's the format today. We're doing these giveaways. Then we're going to do the training, which is the 7 signs that you know you're ready to hire your first employee as a freight broker. And then we're going to go into Q&A, okay, at the end. And maybe we'll do another giveaway. Maybe we'll do a shirt giveaway at the end, a Freightpreneur shirt giveaway at the end, okay? All right. So who's writing a review on iTunes? Okay, it should take a second. All right, so Chrissy wrote an Apple review. All right, who else? There's going to be less people that write reviews than subscribed. And so it's going to be easier. You have a higher chance of winning the $50. So write a review. Now, this is the honor system, guys. So if I pick you and then I check and there's no review, well, then, you're probably not going to get your money. So be honest about the review. Okay. But go in and write a quick review, 5 stars or whatever, 1 to 5 stars, and then write a super quick review and then come back in here and hit me up in the comments and let me know you did that. And then that's going to be, we'll see how much time is left. Maybe we'll do another giveaway. Maybe. There's probably not going to be enough time for another one. Maybe we'll do it after the training, before the Q&A. Okay. So let's see what we can do there. We've only got 2 people that have written an Apple review, which is blowing my mind. That means right now you have a 50% chance of winning because there's only 2 of you, right? So if you want a 25% chance of winning, or if you want a 33% chance of winning, the next person is going is going to give that chance, right? Because so 1 out of 3. Currently, it's 1 out of 2. So write a quick review on the Apple Podcast app. I know a lot of you listen on Apple, okay? And I know there's a bunch of people live. So if you, even if you, wherever you're at, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, if you're in my Facebook private members, paid only Facebook group, wherever you're at, write a quick review, and then we're going to do this giveaway. All right. I'm going to give you 60 more seconds because I know it takes a little bit more time to write a review. 60 seconds, and then we're going to do the next, and then we're going to do that giveaway. All right. In the meantime, I'm going to grab a drink because we're going to be starting the training at noon. So in just a few minutes, we're going to be starting the training. Holy cow. All right. So as soon as the clock ticks here, we're going to do the giveaway. Hey, listen, for those of you that are just sitting idle here, do me a favor. Click the like button wherever you're listening to this. I don't care if you're on YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're at. Hit the like button and then click the share button. It's the price of admission. It costs you nothing to join these trainings. I do these trainings every Monday at noon. It costs you $0. All you have to do is just show up, right? And then you show up and you notice there was no paywall. I didn't ask for your credit card. Just simply hit the like button and then the share button and share the stream. That's how we let other people discover that I do these Freight Broker Bootcamp lives. And it's also one of the primary measurements that I use to determine if I'm going to continue to do these lives. So if I see a lot of engagement, I see a lot of people sharing, I see a lot of people that are liking, if I get a lot of positive reinforcement, then I continue doing these trainings. If not, I figure out something else to do, okay? And then I won't be here every Monday. But if you want me to continue these Monday free trainings, just make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and then share the stream. All right, so here we go. All right, so we only had 2 people. All right, so we got 2 people that have done the reviews. So that should be easy. Here it is. It's a 50-50 chance. Here we go. Ready? The winner of the Apple Review Podcast is Chrissy Gilbert. Chrissy Gilbert wins the $50 for the Apple Podcast Review. You had a 50-50 chance and you got it. So congratulations, Chrissy. All you got to do to collect your $50 is to go to the Freight Broker Bootcamp Facebook page, like the page, then message me your full name, message me your PayPal email where I can send you the money, and let me know that you won the Apple Podcast Review Contest for $50. Okay? The Apple Podcast Review Contest for $50. So your full name, your PayPal email, and what you won. And then I will send off those prizes in the next 24 to 48 hours. You'll get it via PayPal, and it'll be cash directly in your PayPal account. All right? Good fortune, whatever you choose to do with that, right? All right. So we don't have time for another contest now because we only got a minute or 2. But for those of you that are joining me late, for those of you that have forgot, for those of you that weren't paying attention, today the training is 7 signs that you are ready to hire your first employee as a freight broker. Now, this is a really important training because everybody starts alone, right? We all start alone as a freight broker or freight agent. And this applies to freight agents too. We all start alone, but eventually if we want to grow a highly profitable and sustainable business, we've got to build a team, and the team starts with you and then your first employee. So today I'm going to talk about some things that you might want to pay attention to let you know that you're ready or you need to start thinking about hiring your first employee. Okay. It's an important part of the growth. It's not about how to get your bond. It's not about set up your office. It's not about, some of those basic things. This is a little bit more advanced for people that are already a little bit established or people that are aggressively looking to grow and want to get ahead of the curve, okay? So if you're just getting started, pay close attention because eventually you're going to run into this. You're going to need some of these lessons and tips, okay? All right, so before we go live, everybody, no matter where you're at, hit me up in the comments with the city and state you're logging in from. I'll start out with some shout outs, okay? I'll do some shout outs for everybody, and then we're going to jump into the training, okay? So hit me up with the city and state where you're logging in, and I will gladly give you some shout outs, all right? So hit me up. Let's see what we got. And then you got to hold questions until the end, okay? So if you do have questions, let me know. So welcome. We got multiple Facebook user from Dallas, Texas. If you want your name to show up, you've got to give StreamYard permission, okay? Facebook user in Dallas, another Facebook user in St. Louis, Tej Sethi from Toronto, Ontario. Welcome back, Tej. Fahad from Calgary, Alberta. We got a couple Canadians in the house already. Congrats. Chrissy Gilbert, the big winner of the $50 from Atlanta, Georgia. Corey Antoine from Louisiana, welcome. Luigi Rodriguez from Connecticut. We got Dean Fennell from Fort Wayne, Indiana. We've got Skylar Trucking from Hollis, New York. Mohammed Hassan from Seattle, Washington. We've got Dafchak Logistics from New York. We got Renee Musgrove from Indianapolis, Indiana. Welcome. We got Naz Maestra from Claremont, Florida. We got Vante Latre from Port Arthur, Texas. Sorry. If I murder your name, I apologize. The font is really small and I'm going really fast. O'Brien from Shelby, North Carolina. Derek Rick from Little Rock. Rajinder from Williamsburg, Virginia. Oscar from Mexico. So now we got 3 countries. We got Canada, US, and Mexico already. Okay. Welcome, Oscar. KO Freight from Greensboro, North Carolina. Bombay Montre from Charleston, South Carolina. I love Charleston. It's beautiful. Robbie Johnson from Marion, Ohio. Kyla from Chicago. Jimmy's Maths Thompson from hey, hello everyone. Jennifer from New Jersey. We got people from all over the country and even in other countries, as happens frequently here on these lives. I have people who log in from the Ukraine, from the UK, from Australia, from India, from US, Canada, Mexico, South America. It's crazy. People log in from all over the country. And I think we've had students in I don't know the number, but I think it's probably 15 different countries at least we've had students from. So yeah. So that's that, guys. So today it's time to get started here with the training. Okay. It's 12:01 Eastern time and you got to be prompt if you want to be a part of this live. But if you want to catch this on replay, obviously you can catch it on replay here or on YouTube. So no sense in delaying the inevitable. And the inevitable is we are going to do another Freight Broker Bootcamp live right now. And the training today, the topic I'm going to talk about today is 7 signs that you are ready to hire your first employee as a freight broker. All right. And I took some important notes, guys. So these are the notes for the training. I'm going to walk you through these all 7. As a matter of fact, right before I went live, I put a bonus down, an 8th one down, an 8th tip. And it's the bonus tip, but you got to stick around to the end to get that bonus tip. Okay. And it's an important one for you to recognize. All right. So tip number 1 that you are ready to hire your first employee as a freight broker is you can't keep up with your customer demand. Okay. So you're not able to get back to your customers quickly with their quotes. You're not able to cover all the loads that you're being given. You're not able to do all the check calls, right? You're not able to keep up with the daily activities that are necessary to support your existing customers. Okay. So you can't keep up with their demand. They're trying to give you more freight and you don't have enough time. That's a huge red flag. That's a huge sign that you need to start considering hiring your first employee. So that's number 1. Number 2, you have no time to prospect for new customers. This is a trap that a lot of freight brokers and freight agents fall into. They start with no customers. They go out and get a few customers. They get really busy and then they stop prospecting, which blows my mind because, again, I know you need to focus on supporting your customers, but if you're not growing, you're shrinking. You're never staying the same. So you always have to make time to prospect. And a lot of brokers and agents fall into this trap where they get so busy moving the day-to-day freight for their existing customers that they stop prospecting. That is a huge sign and a major red flag that you need to consider hiring your first employee. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, you've identified a new and highly profitable niche that you would like to pursue, but you don't have the resources. You don't have the time. Okay, so diversification of not only the number of customers you have, but the niches that you are in can be a very powerful strategy to building a highly profitable and sustainable brokerage. Okay. So you start out in one niche, maybe like I did. We started out in the van niche and then we moved into flatbed. Then we moved into refrigerated. Then we moved into heavy haul. And eventually we had offices and teams that were built around all of these different niches. So we were in a bunch of different niches after, several years, but we didn't start out that way. But had we not pursued those niches, had we not put the resources in place, had we not recognized the opportunity, then we may not have ever been able to grow the company that we were able to do. And I probably wouldn't have been able to do over $200 million as a freight broker. Okay. So that's number 3. Number 4, customers are complaining. Okay. Customers are complaining. The number one complaint from customers is that the failure to communicate. You're not getting back to them with rate quotes quickly. You're not giving them updates when they request updates. You're not responding to their needs quickly, okay? So that's a huge sign. Whenever you're not able to respond to your customers and or your prospects quickly, that's another big red flag. That's a definite sign that you need to consider hiring, okay? So that was number 4. Number 5, the quality of your service is slipping, meaning you're not quite providing the service that you did when you weren't as busy, and the quality's slipping, okay? This is important. These are service issues that easily could have been avoided had you had some other resources in place, okay? So that's a big sign. You always want to listen to these signs. And sometimes it's hard to look in the mirror, especially in a situation where there were service issues, but you got to be honest and say, listen, if I had another resource, if I had another person that was trained to do this, would this service issue have happened? Okay. So that's number 5. Number 6, you can't keep up with the financial management component of your business. This is an important one. You cannot let billing and payables and your financial responsibilities fall behind. You cannot fall behind on those. As a broker, it's very important for your business that you have a strong cash flow. Now, some of you are going to be using factoring companies. Some of you are not going to be using factoring companies, but ultimately you need to make sure that the financial management component of your business is tight. You need to make sure you're invoicing and payables. You cannot fall behind on the financial management side. If you're falling behind, you definitely need to hire somebody. Maybe you need to hire somebody for the financial component. Maybe you're the financial component, but whatever the case may be is you need to consider that hire, because when you start falling behind, that's a telltale sign that you're ready to hire. Okay, that's number 6. Number 7 is you're unable to take time off, including a vacation. All right, so think about it for a second. You've got a freight brokerage. You're doing $1 million a year. You're making good money, and business is going well. Your customers are happy, and then guess what happens? You get sick. God forbid you get COVID, and you're out of action for 3, 5, 10, 20 days. What happens to your cash flow? What happens to your customers? What happens to your business? You're in trouble. Okay. So everybody needs to be able to take time off. One is for sick time in the event that you do get sick or injured. The other is vacation. Everybody, I don't care who you are, deserves a little bit of time off. Now, as a startup, as a young company, no, you're probably not going to take a week or 2 week long vacation. That probably doesn't make sense. But to take a long weekend, to take a 4 or 5 day trip with your wife or your family to recuperate and build back the much needed R&R that you need in order to keep your energy high, your attitude positive, you need to be able to do that. So number 1, you're unable to take time off, whether it be for being ill or whether that be for vacation. That is a huge red sign, okay, a red flag. You definitely need to listen to that. And the bonus, number 8, the bonus tip that you are ready to hire your first employee as a freight broker is simply this. You can finally afford it. Now, let me explain that. When you start out as a freight broker and you have no cash flow, the thought of hiring an employee is devastating. It's scary because you don't have any money. How am I going to do it? I got to rob from Peter to pay Paul. So you got to do all the work. But once you do the work and you get some customers and you move some loads and you start getting some predictable cash flow and there's a little bit of money in the bank, what you need to do is you need to leverage that. You need to invest it back into the business. Don't stick it in the hip national bank. Don't go out and buy a new car. Don't go out and buy some flashy watch or a suit. Reinvest it into the business. And one of the most powerful things you can reinvest that profit back into the business is in people. So if you have the money, right, if you can finally afford it, if the money's in there, that's a great sign that you're ready to hire because you have done you've touched first base and now you want to round first and touch second, which is really starting to build a team. That's an important sign, because without cash, it's going to be difficult to do that. So those are my 8 tips, okay, that you are on track and ready to hire your first employee as a freight broker. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, if you're curious about becoming a freight broker or a freight agent, check out freightbrokerbootcamp.com. I've trained over 10,000 students, been in business over a decade, and we offer a 60-day, 100% unconditional money back guarantee for any reason. Okay. So check out freightbrokerbootcamp.com if you're curious about becoming a freight broker. Anybody else, thank you for being here. Whether you're already a current student, a future student, or someone who's considering it, make sure you like and subscribe to wherever you're watching this video. Appreciate you guys being here. Have an awesome day, and I'll be back next week with another Freight Broker Bootcamp Live. Okay, so that's not it. We're going to do some Q&A. Okay, we're going to do some Q&A. So hang tight. I hope that was valuable, particularly for the people that are in that stage right now that are looking and considering hiring, right? They're ready to hire. Those are 8 very good signs that you are ready to hire. So you need to listen carefully. With everybody in this that's live here, did any of those 8 signs ring true to you? Have you felt or noticed any of those 8 signs in your business? If you have, hit me up in the comments and let me know that you have hit those signs, and hold your questions until I tell you to do the questions. Otherwise, you're going to get lost. So anybody that's watching this, did any of those 8 signs, do they mean anything to you? Have you noticed any of those? Again, you can't keep up with customer demand. Number 2, you have no time to prospect for new customers. Number 3, you've identified a niche you want to pursue. Number 4, customers are complaining. Number 5, the quality of service is slipping. Number 6, you can't keep up with financial management. Number 7, you're unable to take time off for sick or vacation. And number 8 is you can finally afford it. Who here? Interfire Logistics says all of them. Yes. Well, when you have a fast growing company like Interfire Logistics, who started out last year and is just crushing it, I'm not surprised that you need employees. The challenge now is, where do you find them and who do you hire? So I get it. Makes total sense. And congrats. That's a high quality problem, my friend. Trust me. Taj Sethi feels the same way. All right. So we got a bunch of people that feel that was valuable. So awesome. Let me grab a quick drink and then we will. All right. So let me ask you something. Let's do a quick giveaway. Okay. We're going to give away one of the Freightpreneur t-shirts. Okay. We're going to give away a Freightpreneur t-shirt, and I'm going to make it super simple for you to qualify for that shirt. Okay. If you've already won today, then please exclude yourself from this giveaway, because if you've already won, I did 2 giveaways before we started the training. So if you've already won today, please don't enroll in this giveaway. Create an opportunity for other people. Okay. So here's all you got to do. Let me pull it up here. Where is it? Let me see something really quick. Give me uno momento here. Hold on a second. Okay, there it is. Okay, cool. Okay, so here's all you got to do to qualify to possibly win the Freightpreneur t-shirt. It says, someone who solves problems you don't know you have in ways you can't understand. I will mail you out one of these t-shirts. You have to be in the US, because I don't ship international for these t-shirts. I apologize. It's just not worth it for me, right? It's a hassle to ship internationally with this stuff, believe it or not, and very expensive. It costs more to ship it than it is the shirt itself. So go to youtube.com/Freight Brokers. That is my Freight Broker Bootcamp YouTube channel, and subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and then hit the bell for notifications, and then come back in here and let me know that you subscribed on YouTube. All you got to do is come back into the comments and say, I subscribed on YouTube. Now, this is an honor system. I can't check if you subscribed, okay? But please be honorable, right? I do these giveaways all the time. It's going to take you less than 60 seconds to get subscribed to the channel. Plus, you're going to get access to over 100 free freight broker training videos that I've put out over the years. Okay. And I put new ones out every single week. Plus, you'll get notified when I do the lives. Plus, you'll get notified when any new trainings come out. So get subscribed on the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com/freight brokers. Okay. That's all you got to do. So do that and then come back in and say, I subscribed on YouTube. And then one lucky winner is going to get the Freightpreneur t-shirt. So I'll give you guys a minute to do that. All right. You got to say, I subscribed on YouTube. Nothing else is going to work. If you just say, I subscribed, if you just say, hey, I'd like to, whatever. I subscribed on YouTube. Very careful. You're going to learn. I'm very specific. I subscribed on YouTube. This tells me that you are a part of this specific giveaway. If you just say I subscribed and I did other giveaways, it's not going to work, right? Because I don't know which giveaway. So you got to type in the comments, I subscribed on YouTube. That's going to let me know that you're a part of this drawing for the free t-shirt. All right. For the Freightpreneur t-shirt, which as a matter of fact, I have to follow up on the trademark because I actually trademarked this Freightpreneur. I'm probably going to be doing some pretty cool shit with it here in the next year, but I'm putting the foundation in place now. All right. So we got a bunch of people subscribing on YouTube. All right. So we got 30 more seconds and then we're going to do the giveaway and then we'll jump into live Q&A. So hang around. If you guys want to do live Q&A, if you want to be a part of the Q&A where you can ask me any questions related to freight brokerage, freight agency, entrepreneurship, whatever you want, I'll be glad to try to help you along, give you some answers or feedback or point you in the right direction. All right. So here we go. Boom. We got a bunch of people who have subscribed. I'm going to pick one lucky winner. They're going to get the t-shirt. What's odd is that I get way more people that are excited about my t-shirt than winning $50. I gave away $100 before we started the training, two $50 cash prizes. And we had some people that were, that played along and got subscribed to the podcast and wrote a review and did all that. But we got way more people that are excited about the shirt. So I think I should just give away the shirt because shirts don't cost me $50. I think they cost me like $27 or something, $25 when you factor everything in. But yeah, so, all right, cool. So here we go. One lucky winner. I'm going to scroll up. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to get a winner. Here's the winner. The winner is Dean Finnell. Dean Finnell, you are the winner of the Freightpreneur t-shirt. Congratulations. Here's all you got to do to collect your prize. Go to the Freight Broker Bootcamp Facebook page, like the page, and then message me your name, your full address, right? Your phone number and your size. Right? This is a large. I weigh about between 195 and 200 pounds at any given day, who depends on, how my weekend went. but yeah, your full name, your address, your phone number, and your size. And then also let me know that you won the Freightpreneur t-shirt giveaway. Okay. If you do that within a few days, I'll order the shirt. It'll get mailed out to you. You'll get it usually within a week to 2 weeks by the time they process it and get it out to you. But congratulations to Dean for winning the Freightpreneur t-shirt. All you got to do is go send me that information that I asked for, and we will make sure that we get that shipped out to you. Okay. Congratulations, Dean Finnell. You are the winner of the Freightpreneur t-shirt. Everybody else who played along, thank you so much. You won also, because if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you're going to get a ton of free content, ton of free training, a ton of information that's going to help you to grow a highly profitable and sustainable freight broker business. All right. So there's the YouTube channel for anybody who wants to check it out and just learn more. If you're new to the stream here, maybe you're not joining me. I know we have a lot of people that join me on YouTube. We probably have more people that stream this on YouTube than we do on Facebook, which is kind of weird and hard to believe, but that's it. So cool. All right. So let's jump into Q&A. Who's got questions? Hit me up in the chat box with questions. I will try to answer as many as I can. I can't promise that I will get to everybody's question. If I don't, maybe I'll come back in later in the week and I'll try to respond in the thread or private message you. But type your questions in and I will do my best to try to answer them for you. Okay, so Byron asks, please talk about credit rating as far as booking loads with carriers. How to improve the score starting out. Okay, so I interviewed one of my past students, Elio Longoria. I've interviewed him twice. The first time about all his success as a new broker, and he grew very fast. The second one was where he talked about a step-by-step process that he used to build his credit fast. I'm going to point to that resource because it's the best resource I have for helping you build your credit. So all you got to do is go to the YouTube channel, go to my YouTube channel and search for any videos on my channel that have to do with credit. And you're going to find how to build your credit fast as a freight broker or something along those lines. And he walks through the entire process of exactly how to do that. And I couldn't agree more. He hit the ball out of the park. He nailed it. So there's no sense in me trying to replicate it here because that entire training is there for you. And it's a step by step by step. And I think that's something that anybody can use to help grow their freight brokerage. So I hope that helps. So just go to the Freight Broker Bootcamp YouTube channel and search for how to build your credit fast as a freight broker. And you'll see that entire training. Okay, so here's a good question from Robbie Johnson. What's the best type of payroll in your opinion? Straight commission, hourly, mixture? Well, I don't think there's a best. And I've done all of those. I've done straight commission. I've done straight hourly. I've done hourly plus commission. I've done all of those. Here's what I'm going to tell you. If you are focused on an agent business model and you want to grow through remote independent agents, you're going to work on a straight commission basis. That's typically how those work. They want to be independent contractors. They want to have the flexibility. They want to have a bigger upside. So you're going to pay them a higher commission, typically 50 to 70% of the profit that is generated is going to go to them. You're going to retain the rest. So as an agent business model, that's probably what you're going to do. For an inside business model, like a call center business model, kind of like a CH Robinson or a TQL or a Coyote or an Echo or someone like that, what you're going to do is you're going to build an inside model. Now that inside model, there's multiple ways you can build that as well. So it's hard to answer that question, but I'm a big believer in no matter if you choose to give somebody hourly or salary, there should always be some incentives, some performance-based incentives, whether that be a commission or some sort of spiff or some sort of bonus. So I don't know if that's going to answer your question because, there's no one size fits all for how you pay somebody. But I am a big believer in having performance-based incentives. So in some way, there should be some sort of incentive to get more if you do more. Okay? So I hope that helps. Jay asks, hey, Dennis, is there a template proposal in the Freight Broker Bootcamp I would like to get completed for shippers? Okay, so there is no standardized template because here's typically how I'm going to tell you how a proposal works. It's very informal. It usually goes one of two ways. Either a shipper will send you a bid package or a lane package where they will spell out the exact requirements of what you need to do in order to be a part of the bid. That's one. The other one is if a shipper just asks you for rates, right? They're going to ask you for some rate feedback. So at that point, you're either going to send it to them via email as just in an email if it's a short list of lanes, or if it's a larger list of lanes, you could put it into some sort of a Google sheet or Excel spreadsheet, and you're going to identify the origin, the destination, the line haul, the fuel, or all-in rate, whatever you decide to do there, and the type of equipment. Super simple, super informal most of the time. Now, in addition to that, they're probably going to ask you for maybe a shipper setup pack or some credentials. That's where you're going to send them, some information about your freight broker authority, some information about your experience, some information about, your credit app for them to get set up, things of that nature. So it's a lot less formal. It's not a super formal process. And if it is, the shipper will dictate the bidding process or the vetting process. So you don't need to have a templatized one size fits all. If you are looking for some information on your shipper setup packet, go to my YouTube channel, which is Freight Broker Bootcamp. Just search for Freight Broker Bootcamp or youtube.com/freight brokers. And then search through my videos for shipper setup pack. And you'll see an entire training I did where we talk about how to set up that shipper setup pack. Okay. So I hope that helps, Jay. All right. All right, so we got a bunch of other people that have subscribed on YouTube. Thank you so much. We will continue to do these giveaways probably almost every week. Okay, so if you didn't win this week, don't get disappointed. I do almost every single week. I give away t-shirts. I give away cash. If you guys have questions, we've had a couple really good questions today. All right, we've had a couple really good questions. If you guys have questions, hit me up in the comments. I'm looking for a few more questions today. And then if nobody else has any questions, awesome. I will let you guys go on your way. You guys can get busy building your brokerage, and I can get busy with the laundry list of things that I need to get done today. So, all right. Dean Finnell, 15K a month is really good. How did you learn to earn that? So that looks like okay, so here you go. So here's a question from Trey. How do I go about getting all the proper information to be certified in my brokerage? Okay. Number one, this is a huge misconception and more false information that you find online. To become a licensed freight broker, you do not need to take an exam. You do not need to be certified. 100% fact, there is no requirement for an exam or certification. But the FMCSA, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, does require that you file an application, and there is an application process. Now, you can find that application online. You can go through that process yourself, or we have freightbrokerbootcamp.com, which is my online training program where I've taught over 10,000 brokers, 10,000 students in the last decade, how to, as a small part of the training, we teach them how to get their authority, how to go through that application. But then we teach them everything after that, which is really the hard part, right? Not only setting up your office and working with factoring companies and getting shippers and marketing and billing and collections and all the back office and the entire system A to Z. We teach all of that as a part of freightbrokerbootcamp.com. You can check that out. We offer a 60-day, 100% money back guarantee. So if you're out there trying to hobble information together from YouTube and Bing and Google and all these different search engines and all these different blogs and all this different free content, save yourself a bunch of time. Just go to freightbrokerbootcamp.com. It's very cost effective. We're well known to be the most cost effective and comprehensive online freight broker training program. Again, we offer a 60-day money-back guarantee. I can't make it any easier. You have zero risk, okay? So there is no certification. There is no exam, but there is an application process through the FMCSA. File the application, get your freight broker bond, your BOC3, your UCR, a couple basics, simple stuff, and you can then, that will be your application process. You'll get deemed active as a freight broker once you get your MC number activated, and then from there, you can start moving freight. It's really pretty simple. So I hope that helps. Good question, Trey. Thank you. All right. So I'm scrolling through commissions here, okay? Give me 1 second. Okay, so here's a question from Cynthia. I've been looking into freight agent jobs to start off since my credit isn't that great, but have no experience or book of business. I've reached out and haven't had any luck. Any recommendations? Yes. Here. Let me share a link with you. I did an entire training on this, and I'm going to share 2 links with you. Okay, so hold on a minute. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm going to save everybody a bunch of time. Here you go. Paste. Okay, if you go to my blog, all right. If you go to my blog, I typed the link in the comments. Okay. If you go to my blog, freightbrokerbootcamp.com/blog, and you type in search for hired, okay, get hired, an entire article and video and process will show you how to get hired with no experience. All right. So that's step number 1. Step number 2, if you want to get hired as a freight broker or a freight agent, and you're looking for companies that don't require experience. Now, some of them do require experience, but many of them don't, okay? And you're looking for that type of a job. Here's all you got to do. I'm going to share with you a link. All you got to do is go to freightbrokerbootcamp.com/jobs. That is the job board that I set up, that I built specifically for freight brokers and freight agents. It's the only freight broker, freight agent exclusive job board online anywhere that I've been able to find. Okay. So go to freightbrokerbootcamp.com/jobs, and then you are going to be able to see people that are posting jobs for freight brokers and freight agents. Many of them, some of them require experience. Many of them do not require experience, and you can apply for jobs there. Okay. So one, watch that training, go to my freightbrokerbootcamp.com/blog, and then search for hired. You're going to read that article. You're going to watch that video, watch that training. And then two, I want you to go to that freightbrokerbootcamp.com/jobs, and then you'll find some job posts where you can apply and probably get interviewed and hired. I've had a lot of students that have gotten hired through that job board. Okay. So I hope that helps. Good questions, guys. Give me 1 second. All right. So Toussaint Fowler asks, I work for a shipper and deal with a lot of brokers and want to try this. How easy would it be to transition? Would the transition be, and differences described on YouTube? Well, if you operated as a shipper, you already understand most of the lingo, right? You understand the shipping lingo. You understand full truckload and partials and LTLs and line haul and fuel surcharges and detention. You understand the lingo. So that's number one, a huge leg up, okay? Because that learning curve is going to be expedited. Number two, you've already bought from people that are offering the service that you are then going to be selling. So you understand from the shipper's perspective why you would listen and the value that you're looking for, right? You understand exactly what works, the relationships that have worked and the relationships that haven't. Okay. So it does give you a leg up. I think the transition would be pretty easy. The biggest hurdle for most people is the sales, right? Is the sales side of it, going out and getting shippers. Now, you working for a shipper may have a leg up because you may be able to easily get in to work as a broker for the shipper that you currently work with, or you may know other shippers in the industry. So you may be able to transition into customers very quickly. But I would say the biggest challenge for most people, whether you have the lingo, you're coming from a shipper side, from a carrier side, or you have no experience, is usually getting customers. That's the biggest challenge. But I don't think it's unbearable. I don't think it's difficult. I started with zero experience, zero customers, and zero carriers. Now, we didn't crush it. We did 1.2 million our first year. I think we did 12 loads our first month. You know, those 12 loads were probably consisted of maybe 2 or 3 different shippers that first month, but we grew steadily over time. I had no experience in the industry. Now, fortunately, I had business experience and I wasn't afraid to sell. So I picked up the phone and I went and got those customers. You have a huge leg up compared to me because you know one hell of a lot more than I did when I got started. Okay. So I hope that helps. DL, what does cradle to grave mean? Cradle to grave means it's kind of a, what do they call it? Anyway, it means cradle to grave, from beginning to end. Cradle is the beginning when you're born. Grave is the end when you're dead. And from a load perspective, the cradle to grave means from contacting the shipper to quoting the loads, to finding carriers, to dispatching, to check calls, to delivering, to billing. That's cradle to grave, the entire process. Okay. So I hope that helps. Emily, be more specific. What guidance do you need? What guidance do you need for the broker shipper and broker carrier agreements? I'm not sure what you need. If you're a part of Freight Broker Bootcamp, those agreements and contracts and forms are all included in the training. So if you can be more specific, or you can check out that as a resource, that'll be helpful. Okay, so here's a question from DL. How and why does personal credit affect a person's getting into this business? I have been rebuilding mine for 5 years. Finally have good credit. Okay, So if you want to become a freight broker, credit is a component, because part of the requirements to become a freight broker is to get a freight broker bond. It's a surety bond, okay? That surety bond is in the amount of $75,000, but it doesn't mean you have to have $75,000. You have to have some sort of credit rating. If you have a lower credit rating, the higher the bond cost is going to be. The higher the credit rating, the lower the bond cost is going to be. I've seen bond costs as little as $900 a year. I've seen them as much as $9,000 a year. Okay. So the better your credit, the lower the bond cost, the lower your cost, the lower your risk of entry. Okay. So that's where personal credit really affects you as a freight broker. Now, if you're not starting as a freight broker, or you have bad credit, or you just want to start a little bit slower, start as a freight agent. I've had tons of interviews on here with agents that are making $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 or more a month as agents. They're freight agents. They're not a broker. They work under an agent, and they don't have to get a bond. They don't have to get an authority. They don't have to buy all the software. They don't have to have insurance. They don't have to do all the billing and collections. All they got to do is find and support their customers, and they get a huge commission for doing that. Okay. So if you're hesitant to dive into the broker pool, right, where you just want to start with your license, start as a freight agent. It's highly profitable. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If you can't make money as a freight agent, you're not going to make money as a freight broker. Okay. It's that simple. So I hope that helps. I've answered this before, El Marie. Yeah. Do you feel it's worth joining TIA? Yeah, I think TIA is a great organization. The primary value of the TIA is their interest and their leverage and their ability to lobby for brokers in Washington. That is in my opinion, that's their biggest value, right? They lobby for the brokerage industry in Washington in an effort to keep the market free and to prevent undue and difficult, and legislation that would cause difficulties in our business. Okay. That's the primary value. Secondarily, they have some great education. I'm not a big fan of their CTB, their certified transportation broker training. I took it. I know a lot of other people that have taken it. It's okay. But it's very theoretical. It's kind of like learning history, for the freight brokerage more than real day-to-day freight brokerage. Okay. But yeah, I think TIA is a great organization. I belonged to it the entire time I had my freight brokerage. So I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't say, yeah, it's a good organization. All right, so here's a question. What all is included when you quote a referral? You mean a reefer load, I'm assuming. I know the line haul fuel surcharge and 5-6 cents per mile for the reefer. Is there anything else you need to be included? When you're quoting a reefer load, you're going to quote it one of two ways. You're going to quote a line haul plus fuel rate, which is based on mileage and the lane that you're going in, or you're going to do an all-in rate. So one would be $2.42 a mile plus fuel, right? Which you have a fuel surcharge matrix, and then that would add up to X per mile, and then they will multiply that by the miles, and that's how they get the rate. Or you give them an all-in rate. So if it were 1,000 miles and your line haul plus your fuel added up to $2.50 a mile, that's 1,000 times 250, or $2,500 for that lane. So those are the two ways you're primarily going to quote it. Reefer freight typically doesn't have a different quoting format, but it does have a higher fuel surcharge, like you mentioned. So you'll quote it the same. There's not going to be any real difference in how you quote it. Accessorials might be a little bit different potentially, but typically they're the same. You're still, so yeah, I don't think there's going to be any big differences in how you quote that versus a van load versus a flatbed load, as long as they're looking for a per mile or an all-in rate. Here's a good question from Curtis. Do I need general liability and cargo insurance to start a brokerage? No. Just spoke with a commercial insurance company out of Michigan, and they said they can't issue me surety bond with liability insurance. Okay. So number one, surety bond and liability insurance are two totally different things. Okay. So as a broker, you do not need general liability, and you typically won't be able to get cargo insurance, but you can't get contingent cargo insurance, which is what most brokers that choose to get cargo insurance get. Neither of those are required. They're both optional. As you grow, you may decide to invest in one or both of those, because you may run into shippers down the road that require one or both of those. And you'll make that decision based upon the potential ROI of those relationships and potential customers. So no, you do not need contingent cargo. No, you do not need general liability to start. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a financial advisor, but I know that you aren't required to have those. That would be something you would choose at your own discretion. There is value to having them in certain circumstances, but as a startup, I suggest you keep your startup costs very lean and invest that money into customer acquisition. Okay. So I hope that helps. Your surety bond, and in relation to your surety bond, that's totally different. If you want to get a competitive quote with a company you can trust for bonding, here's all you got to do. Go to freightbrokerbootcamp.com/bond. We have a partnership with Lance Surety Bonds, okay? I have vetted them. I've known them for a long time, okay? So you can go to freightbrokerbootcamp.com/bond, and that's how you can get a free quote for your Freight Broker Surety Bond. They will work with people who have below average credit. They have very competitive rates. We've had a lot of people in Freight Broker Bootcamp that have gotten underwritten and gotten bonds successfully through them. So that would be the direct resource where I would send you. All right. Emily, for lumper fees, what company would you? I would recommend like Comdata, using like Comchecks. That's what most people do for when you're doing a driver advance, or you need to issue Comchecks for lumpers or fuel or advances. Yeah, Comdata, Comchecks would be where I would direct you. I'm scrolling through and just looking for questions that I haven't asked yet. So give me a minute. Regarding agreements, are there any universal plug and play templates? Yes. Part of Freight Broker Bootcamp, we do have the carrier broker agreement. We do have the carrier or broker shipper agreement. We also have the broker agent agreement, but those are templates. Those are not finalized agreements. You will need to review those and customize those. I can't guarantee, those are legal documents. I can't guarantee they're going to cover everything that you need to cover, because your business is different. Your niche may be different. Your risk tolerance may be different. Everything is different. Okay. So we have templates, but those need to be customized, right? Those will be things that you can customize, but it's going to give you a great starting point, and that's all included in Freight Broker Bootcamp. Where do you get your shipper packet? Go to my YouTube channel and Freight Broker Bootcamp, or youtube.com/freight brokers. Search my videos for shipper packet, and it'll walk you through the entire process on how to set that up on your own. Good question, Dean. What gross profit to employee count do you try and have? It's very hard to answer that question, because as a startup, you're going to have a very high, once you start moving along, right? If you have one employee and you're doing $1 million in sales as a solo broker, that's $1 million per employee, but it will be very hard and almost impossible to maintain that. As you hire more people, as a startup, your per employee gross profit or gross revenue is going to go down, but it is an important metrics to watch. So I can't give you a hard number, right? That also depends on if it's an inside sales model or an agent model. It also depends upon, your growth curve. If you're growing faster, you're probably going to have a lower and want a lower revenue. number per employee because you need room for growth, right? You can't have everybody capped out. Otherwise, you won't grow fast because your hiring won't keep up with your growth. So there's a lot of variables. Very hard to answer that question, Dean. But I think it's an important metrics to watch and to follow. So good question. Best place to find shippers to broker load rates. The broker load rates. Okay. Best time to find shippers to broker load rates. Well, I'm assuming the question is best place to find shippers. The best place to find shippers is over the phone. Pick up the phone, call people that are manufacturers, producers, distributors, importers, exporters that are within a niche that you want to pursue. Pick up the phone and call them. Okay. The four primary channels that you can use to acquire customers: the phone, email, LinkedIn, face-to-face. Those are the four primary channels that you will use to acquire customers as a freight broker or as a freight agent. So I hope that answers your question. I think posting loads as a flat line haul rate makes more sense, because that's ultimately the math that the carrier is going to do on the other end. The question is there a difference in posting a load as a flat line haul rate versus adding a fuel surcharge line item on the carrier rate confirmation? On the carrier rate confirmation, difference in posting a load as a flat line haul rate, adding a separate fuel surcharge line item on the carrier rate confirmation. What do brokers do? Most cases on a carrier rate confirmation, it's going to be a flat all-in rate. And then it'll also, it may reference, incidental accessorials that could be added later, like detention, but that's not built into the rate. So on a rate confirmation to a carrier, in most cases, it is a flat rate, which includes the miles and fuel surcharge, right? It's that all-in rate. So that's what you'll do. Now, posting it to a load board, typically you're going to post an all-in rate, right? If you're because I don't know if that was a question. It kind of sounds like two different questions, but if you're posting a load to a load board and you want to post a rate with it, then you're going to post the all-in rate so the carrier can see what that all-in rate is. Okay. And on the rate confirmation, I would post the all-in rate as well. You might it might give you a breakdown or the ability, your rate confirmation, where it gives you the line haul plus fuel plus miles, and then it gives them an all-in rate. You may break it down on that rate confirmation, depending upon your software, but ultimately they're going to be looking for an all-in rate. Okay, here's a good question from Leo and his group at Interfire Logistics. What are the top 3 things experienced agents look for in a brokerage? What matters most to them? Well, there are a lot, so I'm going to try to narrow it down to 3. Credit, meaning the broker has to have good credit so that they're not going to get carriers that are going to reject them when they cover loads. Credit's going to be a very important one. Number 2, technology that makes their job easier and makes their job and efforts more profitable. Number 3 would probably be commission. I'm not going to lie, commission's obviously a big part of it, but I don't think it's number 1. There are companies that I would be an agent for at 60% before other companies that I wouldn't be an agent for, even if they paid me 70 or 80%. Okay. So the product matters. So I would say credit, technology, and commission rate. And, those are 3 very important things. I think beyond that, there's a couple more. Brand recognition is a very powerful one, right? If they go online and search for your company, do they find a lot of results, or do they see crickets? Do they not find your website? Do they not find articles about you? Do they not find content? Do they not find customer reviews? I think brand recognition is an important one. I also, which kind of falls into marketing, which is another piece. So there's so many variables, right? But I think those are a few that I would focus on. If I were building an agent program again, those are the ones that I would probably focus on first. Good question. How long does it take to learn freight brokering from start to mastery? It depends on who you ask. Some people say, to be an expert, it takes 10,000 hours, right? I don't think it's going to take that long to learn freight brokerage. To start making money as a freight broker, we have many students who make money month one. Elio Longoria, who just asked a question from Interfire Logistics, I think he moved like, I don't know what it was, 70 loads in like his first like week or something. I don't know. It was crazy. Like he moved an insane amount of loads in his first week. So it can be highly profitable. He didn't have any experience either, by the way. To master it from startup, you can start making money fairly quickly. To master it, I'd say if you went hard and you really were growing a business, doing the sales, doing the operations, learning all the inside outs, I think you're going to know more than 95% of everybody else in the world after your first year. Now, to get to that 99%, you may never get there depending upon your continuing education and how you invest in your skills. But I think within a year, you're going to know more than 95% of people in the world about how to broker freight. So I don't know if that directly answers your question. I know you're looking for a hard timeline, but it doesn't exist. But ultimately, it doesn't take that long. But it comes down to reps, right? It comes down to how much time and energy you're putting into the process. So if you're working a few hours a day versus someone else that's working 12 hours a day, it's going to take you 4 times as long because they're doing more input. They're learning. They're expediting their process. They're folding time. Depends on if you invest in online training, if you invest in my Freight Broker Sales Accelerator program, which is a whole nother program, which is going to be opening up soon, right? And that brings me to this. If anybody wants to join the Freight Broker Sales Accelerator program, which is where I do a 5-week freight broker sales training program, right? And I coach you for 5 weeks on, I take that piece of my brain all about freight broker sales strategies, tactics, and systems. And I teach you my entire freight broker sales system. And it's a 5-week course. Now, I don't open it up to everybody. Last time I limited it to 100 people. It sold out in just a couple of days. So if you want to be a part of that program or you want to get notified when that program goes live, you got to go to freightbrokerbootcamp.com/waitlist. That's how you can get on the wait list. That's just going to get a notification. It's not going to guarantee your spot. And this is not a free program, just so you know. Last time it was at $997. Chances are it's going to go up this time. The only reason I didn't raise the rates last time is because it was around the holidays, okay? But that program is worth well over $10,000, okay? And the feedback, I've run hundreds of people through that program. I think we've had 100 surveys after the program. We've had over 100 surveys completed. And I've asked them this question: how likely are you to refer the Freight Broker Sales Accelerator program to a friend? And they could rate 1 to 10. You know what the average rating came back as? 1 being, I'm not going to share it with a friend. 10 meaning guaranteed. You know what the average rating is? After over 100 reviews, it's over 9.5. 9.5 out of 10 have said they would refer this program to a friend. All right. So I can't get much better reviews than that. Right. So if you guys want to check that out, you want to be notified about the Freight Broker Sales Accelerator, just go to freightbrokerbootcamp.com/waitlist. It's going to open up hopefully here in the next 30 to 45 days. You'll get notified. You'll be able to enroll, and then we're going to do that live 5-week cohort. Okay. So I hope to see you guys all there. All right. Last question or two. Dean Finnell asked, there are companies that pay higher than 50 to 60%. Yes, there are some companies that will hire agents at 65, even 70, but typically those higher commission rates require 2 things. One, you have to have a larger book of business. So you might have to have $1 million, $2 million, $3 million book of business that you can document and prove that you have to get the higher commission rate. And they may also have a gross margin percentage in there. If your margins are below a certain amount, you may not qualify for the higher commission, right? So if you have 15% margins versus 8% margins, there's a major difference there, okay? So the higher the margins, the more likely you will be able to negotiate a higher commission, okay? So I hope that helps. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for today. Let me know how I did today. Okay. I'd love to get your feedback. 1 to 10. 1, Dennis, you suck. And this was a complete waste of my time. And I will never show up. And I'm going to tell all my friends that you suck. 10 meaning I loved it. The training was great. The Q&A was great. I love the format, and I'll be back. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this training. And trust me, I've got thick skin. I want to hear from you. I want you to be honest with me. If it's a 4, it's a 4. Tell me why it's a 4. I'm okay. I just want to get better. I don't need you to placate my ego. But if you think it was great, hit me up with a 10. If you think it sucked, hit me up with a 1 in the comments wherever you're watching, whether this be on YouTube or Facebook. I'd love to hear back from you guys. I'd love to, I can't read your mind. So I always am asking for feedback because I want to understand what you're thinking. I want to make sure that what I'm doing is valuable for you. So that number 1, if it's not, I can change my approach. Number 2, if it's not, I can figure out something else to do to help you, right? Because this time is valuable. We just invested, how long? We just invested an hour. I got on at 12:45. So we just invested over an hour of our time, collectively, hundreds of hours of time into this topic, into helping you, right? And so I'd love to get your feedback on that. Truly appreciate it. We got a lot of 10s. Thank you so much. If I didn't deliver to your expectations, let me know what I can do. Hit me up in the comments and let me know what I could do better. I'd love to hear from you. I come back every week, Mondays at noon Eastern, with a new Freight Broker Bootcamp Live. Sometimes I'm interviewing past students that have went on to grow successful businesses. Sometimes I'm just doing live Q&A, and many times I'm doing exactly what I did today, which was teaching a lesson that was relevant and specific to what I learned as a freight broker. So if you want to fold time, you want to save time, and you want to build a highly profitable and sustainable freight broker, show up every Monday at noon for these lives. Secondarily, make sure you get enrolled in freightbrokerbootcamp.com. Again, we've trained over 10,000 students, been in over a decade, and we offer a 60-day, 100% unconditional money-back guarantee. If you're not happy for any reason, I can't make it any easier than that. Get enrolled. I'll see you next week. Have an awesome and profitable week, and I'll be back Monday. Take care, guys.